Aaron Dykes there.
Hello, Aaron. John O'Connor from the Richmond paper. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Can you speak about the field position advantage Richmond was able to get in the second quarter, which sort of flipped the game here?
I mean, that was a big change of momentum for us. I mean, we came out slow in the first quarter, and the defense came out and they were flying around all day, which gave us energy. And them getting those stops deep in their area and the punts not being as good gave the offense a sense of urgency to try to score and help the defense out because they were playing so well. I mean, it stinks when the defense is playing so well and we can't make the plays we're trying to make because we start off kind of sloppy. But we knew if we stayed at it, we can be able to make those plays we normally make.
That's a veteran offensive line you're running behind. I wonder if you might evaluate what they've been doing here in the first 8 quarters of the season.
These first 2 games, the Hogs have been playing tremendous. I mean, last week we had over 230 yards rushing. I don't know exactly what we had as a team today, but I don't doubt we had that. We had 170 in the first quarter, if I remember correctly. And I mean, if we're doing stuff like that, we're going to be hard to stop because that opens up the pass game because people have to worry about stopping the run.
Hey, lastly, how about looking ahead at the CAA start now for Richmond after these 2 games at home? How does the team feel moving into conference play?
I mean, we feel confident. I mean, we feel confident going to every game, but next week's a different opponent, a different week. We know if we have to prepare correctly this week to be ready for that game. I mean, it's our first road game and a big test, but I think we're going to be up for the challenge. I mean, we're going to get in the film tomorrow and correct things we need to correct from this game and then start looking forward to next week.
Could you say a word or two about what the Spiders may have gained out of these first 2 games at home that maybe you didn't know about yourself 3 weeks ago?
I mean, we showed that we have a lot of playmakers on the perimeter, which, I mean, we knew that going in, but you never know how the rotations are going to go and how playing time may come and like how that might affect guys. But I mean, everybody who's got a chance to play these first 2 games have showed that they can make those plays that we need to make in certain situations, which is nice to know going deeper into the season.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, you mentioned, getting what you need corrected for next week. What is that? Because right now, after these first 2 weeks, it looks like you guys are moving pretty efficiently. Offensive line is playing great. What would you say the number 1 point of emphasis is going into week 3?
Finishing. I mean, we started off slow, but then we got back on track once we got some of the adversity behind us. We were rolling, and we came on the second half, and we just did not execute at all. At one point, we had 3 straight 3-and-outs, which is something we should never do because that gets defense back on the field too quick, not giving enough time to get rested. I mean, they had a couple drives where they moved the ball more on our defense than when we were holding the ball longer. So we need to look at the second half and find out the things we were doing. We just didn't have a mentality to keep going. We can't lighten up because we get up a little more on teams. We got to keep going no matter the score because that will affect us in games that are bigger and closer near the end of the game.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Coach Huseman, in your estimation, what changed in that second quarter that allowed the game to change in a big way?
I was just talking on the radio. I think maybe, getting that fourth, getting a stop and forcing them to kick a field goal there helped us feel good about it. If we'd have give up a big play or a touchdown, I think we would have came back, no question. But, we had some miscues in that first quarter that normally doesn't happen. And so, I'm just glad we regrouped. Guys kept their focus and we rolled off 28 points.
You requested some defensive assertion following last Saturday's game, and I wonder if this answers your call. Is this what you were looking for or something different?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we played good on defense. A couple turnovers. We almost had the other one that got reversed on instant replay. So I thought we, for the most part, did a really good job. I think they were 3 of 11 on third downs. Again, that's a good day's work. I was a little disappointed in the, towards the end there, the last half of the fourth quarter. I think they got, good chunks of yards there, but and that was on missed tackles and kind of missed assignments. So, it's, I don't want to ever be sloppy, whether it's the first quarter or, with all our backups in the fourth quarter. I want to be crisp and these guys are good enough. If they're out there, they're college football players. We expect them to play well.
Could you share your thoughts on your offensive line, which seems to have keyed the start of the last two games?
Yeah, I love those guys. I tell them every day they're my favorite group on the football team. I'm not afraid to say it. They do a lot of the grunt work and they don't get the recognition. I mean, how many of those guys did you guys have in here on this press conference or the radio? I'm not sure if we ever have. Love those guys. They deserve everything they get. They take pride in blocking for Dykes and Savon and Jerry and do a great job. So, and I look at you when I said that, but I should be looking at Matt. He never brings them in here. An offensive lineman never gets to come in and talk about the game.
Could you evaluate where the Spiders are now after these two home games heading into CAA play?
I don't know, John. I think we were better than both these teams physically. And it kind of shows. I mean, it shows we can make mistakes and survive it. Howard and Lehigh couldn't make mistakes and really survive it. So I think right now, we have a better football team than those two teams. And really, if we play like we're capable of playing, we should win those games. But it starts to get tough now, obviously. Villanova is going to be really good. And but we just got to take the approach. It's our next game. It's the next opponent, whether it's a conference game or not, it's the next opponent. And we got to prepare like it's the biggest game. I came into this one last week and said, Lehigh game was the biggest game of our lives. And Villanova game is the biggest game of our lives. And we got to practice and play, whether it's Villanova, Lehigh, Howard, doesn't make any difference.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, John.